Focus and clarity are not things you magically wake up with one morning. They are not gifts reserved for the lucky few or traits that only disciplined people possess. Focus and clarity are skills that are built through awareness, decision, and relentless practice, yet most people never train them because training focus requires responsibility and clarity requires brutal honesty with yourself, and honesty is uncomfortable. Look at the world today. People are constantly busy but rarely effective. Constantly stimulated but deeply unfocused, they consume endless information yet struggle to produce meaningful results. They scroll, they react, they compare, they worry, and at the end of the day they feel exhausted without feeling fulfilled. This exhaustion is not physical, it is mental, it is emotional, it is the fatigue of living without direction, because when your attention is scattered, your energy is scattered, and when your energy is scattered, even the most talented person cannot build an extraordinary life. Understand this deeply. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, your life grows. If you are not deliberately choosing what to focus on, you are unconsciously allowing the world to choose for you, and the world will always choose distraction, fear, and comfort over growth. Focus is power because it determines what you give your life force to. Clarity is direction because it determines where that power is going. Power without direction leads to burnout, effort without clarity leads to frustration, and that is exactly where most people live, running hard but going nowhere. Clarity begins with a decision to stop living on autopilot and start living intentionally, and that decision begins with a question most people avoid because it forces responsibility. What do I truly want? Not what sounds impressive, not what society expects, not what others will approve of, but what genuinely matters to me at the deepest level. Because vague desires produce vague actions. Your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. It needs a target, and when it does not have a meaningful target it seeks comfort, distraction, and familiarity. That is why people procrastinate, not because they are lazy but because they are unclear. Indecision keeps the mind open and chaotic. Decision creates order, structure, and direction. Most people delay decisions because they fear making the wrong choice, but clarity does not come from knowing every outcome in advance. Clarity comes from committing to a direction and adjusting along the way. Life rewards movement, not perfection. Focus is not about seeing the entire path, it is about taking the next step with intensity, and intensity is fueled by emotion. Emotion is the fuel of focus. Goals that exist only in the mind fade quickly, but goals that are emotionally charged create obsession. When your future excites you more than your present comforts you, discipline stops feeling like force and starts feeling like alignment. Your emotional state determines your focus more than your intelligence ever will. When you are in fear your focus narrows, when you are overwhelmed your focus fragments, when you are grateful your focus expands, and when you are certain your focus sharpens. This means if you want to increase focus you must learn to master your emotional state. Your physiology matters, your posture matters, your breathing matters. Move your body with purpose because motion creates emotion and emotion controls attention. Clarity is rarely created sitting still in mental noise. Clarity is created through engagement, through movement, through action. Confusion lives in the mind, clarity lives in execution. People say they want clarity before taking action, but action is what creates clarity. Movement organizes thought, progress reduces anxiety, momentum builds confidence, and confidence sharpens focus. Another truth most people resist is that focus requires sacrifice. You cannot focus on everything. Focus demands elimination. High performers do not do more things, they do fewer things with greater intensity. They decide what matters most and they protect it ruthlessly. Every yes is a no to something else, and every distraction you accept is a future result you reject. Clarity comes when you decide what no longer deserves your attention. Standards determine focus. You do not rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. What you tolerate becomes your lifestyle. If you tolerate distraction, excuses, and inconsistency they will define your days, but the moment you decide this is no longer acceptable your power returns, because focus is built on standards not wishes. Identity is the foundation of sustained focus. Your brain always acts in alignment with who you believe you are. If you see yourself as scattered your behavior will confirm it. If you see yourself as focused, disciplined, and decisive your brain will look for evidence to support that identity. Identity drives behavior and behavior reinforces identity. This is why repetition matters. Say it, reinforce it, live it. I am focused, I finish what I start, I act with clarity even when it is uncomfortable. Clarity is strengthened through writing because thoughts are chaotic in the mind but organized on paper. When you write your goals, fears, priorities, and standards, your nervous system calms and order replaces overwhelm. Write what you want, why it matters, who you must become, and what it will cost you if you stay the same. Pain is a powerful driver of change. People change when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. Focus is not sustained by motivation because motivation is temporary. Focus is sustained by discipline, and discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. It is choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens self-trust, and self-trust is the backbone of focus. Mental clutter destroys clarity. Too much information creates paralysis, not wisdom. You must guard your inputs carefully because what you consume consistently shapes your beliefs, your emotions, and your identity. Weak inputs create weak focus. Strong inputs create strong direction. Your environment matters more than willpower. Design an environment that supports focus instead of constantly testing it. Remove distractions. Reduce friction for positive habits. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose. The way you start your day programs your nervous system. If you begin your day reacting to notifications and problems, you train your brain to be reactive. But if you begin with intention, movement, and vision, you train your brain to lead. Morning clarity creates daily clarity. Fear is one of the greatest destroyers of focus. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of uncertainty. But fear only has power when you stay still. Action dissolves fear. Progress builds confidence. Confidence sharpens focus. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Clarity does not remove presence sharpens clarity. Multitasking destroys it. Be fully where you are. Give full attention to what you are doing. Intensity creates results. Half-hearted action creates frustration. Life rewards those who bring full energy to fewer things, not scattered energy to many things. Decide today that you will no longer live by default. Decide that you will direct your attention deliberately. Decide that you will choose clarity over chaos, focus over distraction, action over hesitation, because your life will never exceed the level of your focus, and the moment your focus becomes clear, your energy aligns, your decisions sharpen, your confidence grows, your actions accelerate, your standards rise, and your direction becomes unstoppable.